I couldn't believe my eyes. There she was, my mother-in-law, Evelyn Harper, strutting into the bridal suite in a pure white dress, smiling as if it were her wedding day. My heart dropped, a mix of shock, rage, and disbelief twisting in my chest. I had spent months planning every detail, dreaming about this day with my fiancé, Lucas Bennett, and now it was being hijacked by the one person who was supposed to support me. I thought white was off limits for anyone but the bride, I whispered under my breath, but Evelyn's confident grin said otherwise. She'd lied, she'd planned this, and she had no shame. In that moment, something inside me snapped. No more being polite, no more holding back. It was time she learned that crossing me had consequences. Have you ever had someone try to steal your special moment? How would you react if your own mother-in-law showed up in white on your wedding day, lying to cover it up? Comment below, I want to know. Before the wedding chaos, life felt simple and joyful. Madeline Maddie Lawson, had been planning my big day for over a year with Lucas Bennett, my loving, patient fiancé. Our relationship was the kind people wrote stories about, supportive, adventurous, full of laughter and shared dreams. I imagined our wedding as a celebration of love, surrounded by friends and family who genuinely cared. Evelyn Harper, Lucas's mother, had always been difficult. Polite on the surface, but controlling and self-centered underneath. She constantly pushed her opinions on everything, from the color of the bridesmaids' dresses to the flower arrangements. I tried to accommodate her, reasoning that it was just part of being married into a new family. But the white dress? That crossed every line. I first noticed something was off during the final dress fitting. Evelyn insisted on joining me alone in the bridal suite, just to help. I thought it was harmless, naive even. But when I stepped out to grab the veil and returned, there she was, white dress shimmering under the chandelier lights, as if she'd planned it perfectly. The betrayal hit harder because it wasn't a mistake, it was intentional. She'd lied about having a different outfit, hidden her plan, and chosen the one day that was supposed to be mine to make herself the center of attention. That's when anger bubbled up, mixed with disbelief. My dream wedding was turning into a nightmare, and Evelyn Harper was at the heart of it. I knew I couldn't let this slide. Not without consequences. The moment I saw Evelyn Harper in white, everything I had planned seemed to crumble. My hands trembled, my chest tightened, and I felt a mix of humiliation and anger I'd never known before. I had envisioned walking down the aisle, feeling radiant in my dress, with all eyes on Lucas and me. Instead, I was forced to share that attention with someone who had no right to it. At first, I tried to rationalize it. Maybe she didn't realize the impact? Maybe she just wanted to feel special? But the confident smirk on her face told me the truth. She knew exactly what she was doing. My trust in her had evaporated instantly, replaced by a burning desire to not only confront her, but also make sure she felt the weight of her audacity. I attempted to speak to Lucas about it, hoping he would intervene, but even he seemed unsure how to react without causing a scene. That hesitation made me feel even more alone. The emotional toll was heavy. I went from excitement to frustration and near tears in a matter of minutes. Every time I glanced in the mirror, seeing Evelyn in white reflected behind me, I felt humiliated, small, and powerless. Despite the turmoil, something inside me shifted. The anger and hurt slowly transformed into resolve. I couldn't let Evelyn steal my day or my dignity. If she wanted a battle of attention, I would be ready, but I would do it on my terms. I began to plan carefully, observing her habits, noting what she valued most, and imagining a way to turn the tables. Even as I smiled politely around family and guests, the fire inside me grew. My humiliation became motivation. My heartbreak became strategy. And beneath it all, I knew one thing with absolute certainty: Evelyn Harper would regret underestimating me. This wasn't just about a dress anymore. It was about standing up, reclaiming my power, and making sure my special day remained truly mine. In the days leading up to the wedding, I started noticing the little things about Evelyn Harper that I could use. How she always checked herself in mirrors, the way she loved being the center of attention, and her obsession with social media photos that made her look flawless. Each detail became a potential opportunity. I pretended to be calm, polite, even forgiving, while secretly taking mental notes. I imagined subtle ways to expose her arrogance without creating a scandal, ways that would leave her embarrassed, but leave me victorious. Every time she boasted about her dress choice or hinted that she might outshine me, I silently smiled, knowing I had a plan forming in the back of my mind. The anticipation built inside me, almost like a secret thrill. I told myself I had to be patient, careful, and clever. Revenge wasn't about rushing, it was about timing. And when the right moment came, she would have no idea what hit her. I could feel the tension coiling, a quiet promise that soon, everything she thought she could control would crumble, and I would finally reclaim my wedding day and my pride. The wedding day arrived, and everything seemed perfectly normal, until the moment I stepped into the reception hall. Evelyn Harper, as expected, had her carefully chosen white ensemble, already positioning herself near the center of the room. I took a deep breath, smiling politely at guests, but inside, I was ready. I waited for the perfect timing. As the music began and all eyes turned toward Lucas and me, I signaled the photographer to capture a special first-look moment, not of me and Lucas, but of Evelyn. Carefully, I had arranged for the hall lights to focus on the bride and groom, while a soft spotlight revealed Evelyn's reflection in the mirrored wall behind her. When she noticed, her confident smile faltered. I had also prearranged a subtle social media announcement from the event's live feed. The caption read, "The bride shines brightest today. Love wins always." Her attempts to adjust her dress and act natural were painfully obvious on camera. The room's focus shifted entirely to me as the audience gasped at the contrast. Evelyn's face went pale. Her whispered protests were drowned out by laughter and admiration for me. Lucas reached out, holding my hand tightly, and I felt a surge of triumph. I hadn't embarrassed her cruelly. I had simply highlighted the truth. My wedding day belonged to the bride, not the intruder. Seeing Evelyn's shock and frustration dissolve into awkward silence was exhilarating. It wasn't just a moment of public vindication. It was my personal triumph over someone who had tried to steal my joy. Anger melted into empowerment. I had remained composed, clever, and graceful, and in doing so, I proved that cunning and patience could outshine arrogance and deceit. For the first time since discovering her plan, I truly smiled, free from humiliation, confident, and fully in control of my special day. Evelyn Harper would not forget this lesson, and I finally felt justice had been served. Sitting quietly in the evening after the wedding, I finally had a moment to breathe. Watching the events unfold had been exhilarating, but it also made me reflect on what had truly happened. Evelyn Harper's attempt to overshadow my wedding had been a betrayal, yes, but it also became a lesson in patience, composure, and self-respect. I realized that revenge isn't just about making someone else feel small. It's about reclaiming your own power and setting boundaries. I had been hurt and humiliated, but I refused to let that define my day or my emotions. By planning carefully, staying calm, and acting strategically, I had turned my anger into strength. It also taught me the importance of knowing yourself and valuing your own happiness. I had nearly let Evelyn's manipulation dictate how I felt, but instead, I took control. True satisfaction didn't come from shaming her. It came from proving to myself that I could rise above deceit, handle the situation with grace, and still enjoy one of the most important days of my life. Looking back, I understood that this experience wasn't just about a white dress or a lie. It was about standing up for myself, asserting my worth, and protecting the moments that mattered most. Evelyn Harper had underestimated me, and in doing so, she inadvertently taught me the power of composure and clever action. That day, I learned that the best revenge often comes quietly, elegantly, and on your own terms. Life after the wedding felt lighter, freer, and infinitely more empowering. Evelyn Harper still tried to maintain her presence in family events, but I noticed a change in the way people looked at her. Friends and relatives who had always admired her now saw the truth. Her attempts to control and overshadow me had backfired. Meanwhile, Lucas and I settled into married life with a sense of unity stronger than ever. I found that the experience had given me confidence I hadn't realized I needed. I could assert myself without fear of confrontation, handle challenges with poise, and protect what was mine without losing my composure. Every time Evelyn tried to insert herself into situations where she didn't belong, I calmly navigated the moment, subtly asserting my boundaries while keeping my dignity intact. Even the small victories mattered. Guests who had witnessed the wedding subtly reminded her in conversations that the bride had truly shined, and she could no longer dominate the narrative. I discovered that reclaiming your happiness doesn't always require drama. It requires cleverness, patience, and self-assurance. Most importantly, I cherish my life with Lucas. The wedding, despite the drama, became a memory of triumph rather than humiliation. I learned that the people who try to steal your spotlight rarely succeed if you stand strong, stay smart, and protect your joy. Evelyn Harper's attempts at control no longer had power over me, and in that realization, I found peace, closure, and an unshakable sense of empowerment. Sometimes, standing up for yourself isn't about humiliating others. It's about reclaiming your own happiness and confidence. That wedding day taught me that patience, clever planning, and self-respect can turn a moment of betrayal into a triumph of empowerment. I learned to protect what matters, assert my worth, and rise above anyone who tries to overshadow me. I want to hear from you. Have you ever had someone try to steal your spotlight or betray your trust? How did you handle it? Share your experiences in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories of resilience, clever payback, and empowerment.